Alright guys, first video. So I'm really excited about this group. I am excited that y'all have decided to join it. One thing I'm going to like, I think, about GroupMe is if other people decide they want to join later, they'll be able to see our previous messages and videos and whatnot. So anyway, let's get on it. So this video, I'm just wanting to get y'all kind of prepared for things that you might want to get before we start. So as you know, the plan is I will send out a link every morning starting July 14th. That will be the workout of the day. I use Body Fit by Amy. I love her. She's really great. I do want to go ahead and let you know that sometimes the videos are going to be, I don't want to say advanced. There's going to be some moves in there for people who have been doing this for a while, but she also shows moderations. So I just kind of want to let you know some things you may need for these workouts. So first of all, you need an I can attitude. So let's don't do all like, I can't do this, I can't. Yes, you can. Maybe you can't do the move that she's doing the way she's doing it or the way somebody else is doing it, but you have a can in there somewhere. Find your can. Find the move that you can do. For instance, if she is on the ground doing a plank, and you, right now, even doing a plank on your knees is too much. Getting down on the ground is too much. Maybe you've got some knee issues going on. Maybe, whatever the case may be, you can get up against a wall and lean against the wall and do any move she's doing on the floor from the wall. That's perfectly okay. That is your can. And there's no shame in that can at all. Look, as you show up consistently with that can, then your can will start to increase. I'm not talking about your can like your booty, but your cans will start to increase. There will be more things you can do. This is your starting ground. What does the Bible say? Let's don't despise small beginnings. Wish I would have wrote down where that verse was from, but it just came to me, and y'all know I'm horrible with the addresses in the Bible. So don't despise your small beginnings, because it's actually not that small. Just the fact that you're going to show up is great. So now, this is also going to be a commitment that you're going to make. You're going to commit to being consistent every morning, or whatever time you do yours, doing a workout. Now, let's say you are going to do it in the morning, and you're like, okay, I'm going to do it at 5:45, and then one Thursday you wake up late, and you're like, I've only got 5 minutes and the rest of my day is booked. If I don't do this workout this morning, it's not going to get done. And I've only got like 5 or 10 minutes. There's no point. Yes, there is a point, because you're still going to show up consistently. Show up, turn that video on, do 5 or 10 minutes of it, turn it off, go on with your day. You showed up. That's consistency. That's what we're working on right now. That's it. Consistency. It's important. Do you trust me on that? A lot of this, we're going to go kind of slow, and you're just going to have some patience, and you're going to have to trust me, because I have been there and I have done that, and I'm starting to see some wonderful results from the work that God has been putting on me, but it has taken patience. Now you may say, that's something I ain't got. Well, sister, if you are saved, if you have accepted a Holy Spirit, then you've got a fruit of the Holy Spirit called what? Patience. You might need to make it grow. You might need to fertilize it some, plow it around, mess with it, be like, come on, time to grow. Here's your chance. This is a great way to practice. So come with an I can attitude, with a commitment that even if it's just 5 minutes, I'm showing up today. I'm showing up every day. Okay. Now I do suggest, because a lot of her workouts are going to be weighted workouts. So if you don't have any dumbbells, I suggest buying some. I suggest starting out with 5 pounds. Now, if you've got 2-pound weights and you don't feel like going out and buy 5 pounds, or if you're like, 5 pounds might be too much for me, you can go ahead and get 2. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, you're going to outgrow those really quick, and you're going to want 5 pounds. So if you haven't bought any and you do want to go buy some, I highly suggest starting off with 5. That's how I've started. I've got 5 pound, 10 pound, 12 pound, 15 pound, 8 pounds, 18 pounds, and then my son left behind some 35 pounds. I don't lift with those. I'll do like deadlifts with one of them, but So that's all the weights I have. Now, I have bought those throughout the years as I've needed to expand. So I didn't go out there and buy them all at once. Kind of like a man with their tools. You know, if you walk into a man's tool shed and you're like, how did you get all these tools? How did you afford that? Well, they bought it over time. It's the same way you're going to do with equipment. If you're going to do at-home workouts, you're going to need some equipment. And doing at-home workouts, y'all, it's a lot cheaper than going to a gym. If you want to go to a gym, that's great. That's fine. If you like the community of it. I personally like to work out in my home early in the morning. So I have bought some things that I would need. Can you use resistant bands instead of free weights? Yes, you can. I prefer free weight. I personally feel more. Now I do have some resistant bands fixing to go on this mission trip to Tahoe, so I will be taking those with me. It's a lot easier if you're traveling to carry those and use them. I do suggest free weights or dumbbells, whatever you want to call them. Now, she'll also use kettlebells. I don't own any kettlebells. I want to someday. I just don't have any. I chose to go dumbbells because everything she does with kettlebells, I can do with dumbbells. But not everything she does with dumbbells could I do with a kettlebell. Does that make sense? So the dumbbell is more versatile if you're starting on a budget. But if you got the money and you want the kettlebell, get the kettlebell. They look really fun. I plan on getting some someday when my husband builds me my own workout room and I have more room for it. But right now I do the dumbbells. I also suggest that you get an exercise mat if you don't already have one. If you're working out on carpet, that's probably going to be fine. But if you're like me and you're on like a hard floor, and I've got 47-year-old knees that don't like to hit that hard floor, my mat is about that thick. I have a thick mat, and I use it basically for my hands when we go onto a plank, and then if I'm doing push-ups or anything from the knees, I put my knees on it. My knees can't handle a hard floor anymore. So dumbbells, and it just left my brain. Workout mat. Goodness gracious. Okay, so now let's talk about the lifting weights, because I know what you're probably thinking. I don't want to get bulky. Ladies, we're not doing anything here that is going to cause you to get bulky. If you wanted to get bulky and be a bodybuilder, it would take some severe effort to get there. Do not worry about lifting heavy. When you see that you're on your 5-pound weights and you're not feeling a burn anymore, move up. And then when you're on those 8-pound weights and you're not feeling anymore, move up. You have to keep this progression going. You are not going to get humongous muscles unless you are tailoring your diet for it, tailoring your supplements for it. You are a female. You do not have the testosterone needed to lift some free weights 30 minutes a day and get bulky. It's not going to happen. So just get that out of your head. Don't be scared to lift heavy. All right. Now, there are genetics where some people, their muscles will be more toned and you'll be able to see a little more definition, and it's just their genetics, but you're not going to look like a bodybuilder. It's not going to happen. And there's going to be some women where you're going to do these workouts and you're not going to look as toned as the person next to you. I just studied Song of Solomon, finished the whole book, and one thing that it talks about, she tended to her own vineyard. So tend to your own vineyard. Don't be gazing at other people's vineyards. Tend to your own vineyard. That's the one that you're made to steward. Don't gaze at other people's vineyard. Don't worry about yourself, like the meme likes to say. Have y'all seen that video? Worry about yourself. All right, so let me give you some benefits of weightlifting. It stimulates bone growth. Did you know that? Did you know that as we're aging, we are losing bone and muscle at a steady pace? So when you hear people say, man, once I hit my mid-30s, like I feel like it stopped losing weight, just doesn't seem to come as easy. Well, it can have something to do with your metabolism, but your muscle has a lot to do with metabolism too. And once you hit your 30s, like your peak time, your peak body fitness time is around 25. After that is a downhill slide, and how fast you slide depends on how much you're stewarding your muscles. You need muscle more than you need to worry about dropping weight. I guarantee it. If you build up your muscle, it's going to increase your calorie burn. You'll increase your bone density as you're going into perimenopause. It's very important. It's going to help your sleep quality. It's going to help prevent injuries. It's going to improve your heart health. It helps with arthritis and back pain. I can testify to that. It improves your posture and balance. So think about older people. How many older people have you known that fell and broke a hip, and then that was it for their life, right? Like they almost didn't recover from that. And how many times you hear about older people falling? Why? Because their lack of muscle has made them lose balance. How do you want to go into your elder years? When I'm talking about longevity here, this is where we're doing this for longevity. I'm not talking about longevity of trying to get extra years in my life. Y'all, I'm ready to see my Jesus. I'm not really worried about getting extra years to my life, but I want extra life to my years. I don't want to be wobbling around at 80. Now, there could be something that happens and I still wobble around at 80 even though I've done all the stuff here, all the stuff in an earlier age. What does Scripture say? As far as it concerns you, seek peace. Now, I take that into my body as well. I want to seek peace with my body for however much action I'm responsible for. I want to do that. As far as it accounts for me, I want to have peace with my body going into my elder years, should God choose that I go that far to my life. All right, so you're also going to increase energy. And here's a big thing. All right, so we're not going to talk a lot about food right now. We're not. We're slowly getting into this. Again, you're going to have to trust me and be patient. This is not a quick weight loss situation. You may not even be here for weight loss. You may just be here for health. But we're going to get there. We're going to get to the food discussion. But what's going to help you when you do have those times that you're going to ingest maybe a little too much sugar or whatever the case may be, your muscles can help absorb that sugar. You need muscles for insulin sensitivity. Your muscles burn and use sugar, glucose, for energy. So guess what? The more muscle you have, the more ability you have on burning out that sugar in your body. It's going to help you be able to enjoy more foods, more variety, and more of it, because the more calories you're burning, the more calories you get to take in. Do you want to live the rest of your life on 1,200 calories? No. Let's gain some muscle. Okay, so what else? You also will likely want a protein source. Now, hear me out. I don't have a vendetta against protein shakes. I used to drink protein shakes all the time until God started making me aware of ingredients of what it is I'm eating. Now, I'm to a point I don't obsess over it anymore, but I do like to make better choices. So if there's a better protein shake out there that has more natural ingredients, that's what I want to go for. But as I have searched, those ones that are more natural ingredients are very expensive. I can tell you I like a Prima bar. That's Prima. I've discovered those when I went carnivore for a little bit. They're great. Very natural ingredients, sweetened with raw honey. They're a little pricey, but they're not horrible. What I can say, though, that I enjoy about working out in the morning is I don't eat before my workout because it just makes me sick to my stomach. I like to eat. I like to work out. I get up, get my coffee, sit down, do my Bible study. Then I get my water, and well, actually I get water before I get coffee. Then I get my coffee, do my Bible study, and then it's time for me to work out with my water. And then immediately after I work out, I eat. And I'm having an egg and chicken breast on an Ezekiel muffin, all those with some cheese. All that stuff has the protein I need for after my workout. And it's all natural. I don't need a protein shake. I'll also state that new research is showing that where we used to think you needed protein at least 30 minutes after a workout, I mean, your body will absorb it a little bit better during that time, but if you're getting enough protein throughout your day, you don't have to worry so much about that. So the protein grams, again, we're not going to dive a whole lot into food right now, but if you do want to start just being more aware and looking, one of the main things you want to look at as you're eating is how much protein am I getting. So what you want to do, the biggest suggestion I've ever heard is, what is your goal weight? What is the healthy weight? Let's make sure we're looking for a healthy weight too. So what is your goal weight? And you want to eat that in grams of protein. So my goal weight is about 145-ish. So I try to make sure I'm getting in 145 grams of protein a day. I don't obsess over it. Some days I hit it, some days I don't. Some days I'm over it. Some days I'm under it. I just want to be aware. That's it. Okay, don't hear a message I'm trying to tell you on getting obsessed with all this. And don't hear that I'm saying throw your protein shake away. Just making you aware. Let's pay attention to the ingredients that we're ingesting in our body every day. Just start being aware of it. That's it. I'm not asking you to give up anything. I'm not going to ever ask you to give up anything. I'm just going to help you be aware so you can go to God and say, what do you want me to do here? Okay, so you do want protein though. If you're going to start, when we start doing these workouts, like I said, I don't want to talk about food right off the bat, but that is important. You are going to want some protein to help those muscles that you're going to be building. You're going to want to increase your water intake. Make sure you're drinking more water than you are anything else. Your body is going to need it. You're not going to function well without it. Increase your water. Make sure you have some good walking shoes, because while we are going to work out in the mornings or whatever time you do, that little 30 to 35 minute workout we're doing, it's not going to be it for the day. You don't get to do that and say, oh, done my activity for the day, I'm done. You need more movement. Hello, Jackson. You need more movement throughout your day. Okay, so let's say as an example, at work I get 2 15-minute breaks. I go walk for 15 minutes. I love it. I go outside, get away from my desk, and I go for a walk. If you don't have that opportunity at your job, stand up and fidget and sway. Do something that gets you some movement throughout the day. You need that. So again, we'll talk about tracking later on, but I like to get about 7,500 to 10,000 steps a day. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm not obsessing. I'm just being aware, how much am I moving throughout the day. Talked about the workout mat, and I talked about patience. You are really going to need some patience through this. We could go quick and I could take you to the deep end, because I've been to the deep end several times and I've dove right in, and look, I have lost weight diving into the deep end, doing a whole bunch of restricting and all the things, and I yo-yo every time. Is anybody here feeling that? I yo-yo, and that is so not good for your diet. So what God finally showed me is slow and steady wins the race. Do we want to change our body size, the way it looks, or do we want to change our character to where we're naturally somebody who takes care of their body, who it just becomes a natural part of our life? There is so much freedom in that. There's so much freedom in it just being a part of your character, and that takes time. Let's give it the time that it takes. That's all I've got for you today. So thank y'all for being here again. I will come back probably the Sunday before we do our first workout. And what did I decide we were going to talk about first? We will start talking about becoming aware of processed food. We will start on talking about the food then. I'm not going to tell you to go on a diet. We'll talk about what diet actually means, and we're just going to be aware. We're just going to start becoming aware of what and why, and taking it to God for any of the whys that need to be healed and healing, so we can naturally become a person who is eating less of the processed and more of the natural. Still enjoying some processed every once in a while. There's still some value in processed food, just not it being a consistent part of your diet. We'll get to that before our first workout. For right now, get you some weights. If you want to use water bottles or something for now, if it's just not in your budget, I get it. You'll be fine without it. If you can, pick you up some dumbbells, get your workout mat, get to drinking some water, think about protein. Love you, mean it.